Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Titans are off the practice field today as training camp continues. They'll be back at it tomorrow. The next Titans practice open to media will be on Saturday. In NFL news, the Tampa Bay Bucks and offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs have agreed to a 5-year contract worth over $140 million, making Wirfs the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. The deal includes over $88 million in guaranteed money. In college football news, Georgia has dismissed wide receiver Ra Thomas from the team. The Mississippi State transfer was going into his senior year. He was arrested on July 26 on a felony charge of second-degree cruelty to children and misdemeanor battery. The NFL preseason starts tonight in Canton, Ohio. It's the Hall of Fame game between the Bears and Texans. Caleb Williams will not make his Bears debut tonight. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. You can hear the Westwood One call right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
We have NFL football tonight, kind of. Welcome in. As I'm Joe Hunk, joined by the hitman Blaine Bishop, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors here on 104.5 The Zone. As of course, Zone TV is up and rolling for you today. You can simply go to YouTube, Facebook, X, as well as Twitch to get in on the F&M Bank chat. But we are now 6 hours away from the Hall of Fame game. Everybody's excited. We're treating it like the Super Bowl, right? Can't stop watching. I'm going to watch every single preview and every single second leading up to it, right?
No, will the Olympics be going on then? The replay? I don't know.
Yes.
It's just competition. I mean, is that real competition, Reed? I don't know.
No, it absolutely is.
Oh.
No, it absolutely is because NBC does their primetime coverage, which is a recap of everything that's happened today in Paris that people that are working can't see. And so, yeah, you're going to get the floor routine that's going on right now. Women's floor routine. You're going to get women's basketball is about to start at 2 o'clock. They're playing tonight.
Both women's gymnastics and basketball are dominating over history. I'm not just talking about this Olympics, but man.
Yes. So you hit all of that. And I would love to see the ratings comparison because we know that'll come out probably tomorrow of how many people watch the Olympics over watching the Hall of Fame game.
All right, I'm a ding-dong about this rating stuff, so kind of explain to me, if you're watching football, the NFL Hall of Fame game, and then you turn it to the Olympics and watch it for a period of time, like when it's a commercial at the NFL Hall of Fame game, then you turn it and then you watch, Olympics for 30 minutes or 20 minutes and then turn back. How does that affect the ratings? Do we know?
I know that they break it down into 15 minutes. No, that's a great question.
I don't understand.
I think, but because at the end of it, you'll see so many total people watch the game. And you'll see that where the peak hour was during the fourth quarter at this point in time. Like you get stats like that. So honestly, there may be people that are going to be counting towards both because they'll do a total count and then they'll do like a peak count. As in the peak number of people were paying attention because this is when it's going to happen for the NFL Hall of Fame game will happen at the very first kickoff, which is what a lot of people will be paying attention to. And then they'll show a total number of X watched the game last night and a total number of X watched the Olympics last night. I believe that's how it goes. Based on that. I see that Reed's nodding his head. Have you found that information, Reed? Because I saw you. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm looking.
Because we could just be believing whatever they put out there, but I don't know how they calculated the results. I'm sure they've been doing it for a long time.
Their big thing is just total.
Yeah,
it's just total.
That's the big thing that they go for.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what they do. I mean, like when you think of the FSU Tennessee baseball game, they put out that it was like the biggest game until the game 3. But yeah, because they go a lot of stuff when it comes to sports is total, and then TV shows is whatever the rating, whatever they call it.
Yeah. And so and then if there's a large peak number, they'll say the large peak number was at 9:45 p.m. And what they'll do is they'll look at what was happening in the game at 9:45 p.m. and it will be, it was the overtime of the Super Bowl. Right, or the routine when Simone Biles was getting ready to do her floor routine. That was when the peak of the Olympics happened last night when they were doing the prime. So, yeah, absolutely. And Lonzo on the F&M Bank chat says, I forgot it was tonight, the Hall of Fame game, and then just put Z's all the way behind his name.
That means it's about to get started.
Yes. Yeah. Like, we're 9 days away from the Titans kicking off.
Yeah. I'm disappointed. And I don't, sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in now, even as a player, though, I feel like that the starters, I know Caleb Williams is not playing as well as the starters for the Bears. I don't know the situation on the Texans side, but that was announced that can you give us like 12 plays or a series or something?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, and I think that was part of the reason.
Even if you did Mike Vrabel hand the ball off 3 times in a row,
like Tannehill did last year.
Come on, man, tease us something.
Let him at least have his pads on and go into the game and see what nail polish he's rocking. Come on.
You also want him to go through the routine, and I know everybody, he's got 3 more games or whatever it is to do that, but you want to get him comfortable. It's the number 1 pick. Everybody's waiting to see him play. Not only that, but also him going through the routine and the pregame and how it's going to be in the NFL. This will be all the first time he's gone through it too. So you want to start eliminate some of the first. To me, if I'm a coach, even if I played him on a limited basis, I actually would play him in the game.
Because, and I know every coach has different philosophies about
now, if it was a veteran quarterback, maybe not so much.
Yes.
Like if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm going, I don't know. One more game. I don't know if he needs to play. We need to get to look at the number 2.
Well, and I think that, every coach has a different philosophy. Like you were talking about Vrabel last year. Tannehill at least wanted to be on the field, take some snaps so that he could at least get a view.
Let me correct you. You said Tannehill. No player has any decision on how much they are playing in the preseason. I think a lot of people believe that a lot of players have kind of context and control of that whole. They do not.
Okay, so Vrabel
wanted
Tannehill to see what the field and get the view and all that. Veterans, okay.
He can go in there and give his opinion like, hey, I'd love to play, and then he can still decide not to play him.
Yeah, okay, so Tannehill was told by Vrabel, you're at least going to play the first series, which ended up being 3 handoffs to like Tajay Spears. And then you have some coaches like Andy Reid, like last season, he had the Chiefs starters playing more in the preseason to get ready for week 1 because
he's done that the last 2 seasons. Yes. That's why I kept saying I thought the Titans should be playing their starters because the preseason is a little bit different now from back in my day where, you kind of tiered it back as the preseason went on and the starters barely played at the end, played a little bit. They never really come out a half, maybe one time just for a little bit. So I thought his philosophy was right. And it's showing out. I think if you want to start off fast and be in tune sooner than later, I think you got to do that now. Based off of all the off-season program where you're not doing a lot, compared to what they used to do, especially when Andy Reid was the head coach. We had hard training camps when I was there with Andy Reid. And, he was I was stunned, especially, it wasn't like his first go-round. It was he had been there, already set the tone for like 4 or 5 years. So their training camps were pretty hard. I wish somebody would have forewarned me because it was take them to the ground. It was like old school, and I'm, a year 10, and I'm thinking, hey, man, tag, touch, that's it. They were like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, what are you talking about? We didn't film, but coach, hey, what are you doing? Well, Blaine, we got to get you to go 70%. I was like, huh? 70%? I said, 70%, man. If I do 70%, I'm not going to be able to be ready for the game by the end of the season. If it's based off what we do now.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I'll go 70%. And there what happened. I made it to week 10.
And so you're trying to, I think teams, because we just started the 3 games philosophy of once we went to 17 games, we decided to go now to the 3 preseason games. So for years, it was down to like a science. That whole dress rehearsal game 3 you were talking about, game 4, all the starters are just over there and they're, got their jersey on and that's it. But I think that teams are still trying to figure out how to navigate this. So in this part, with what you're talking about, Caleb Williams, the Bears now get an old style preseason. So why aren't they treating it like an old style where Hall of Fame game is you do a series, Game 2, you didn't do a quarter. And then game 3 is your quote-unquote dress rehearsal, and you do a half. And then the fourth one, you're done.
Yeah.
Like you would think that they would want Caleb Williams to be getting as many snaps as possible, being that he is more than likely the starter week 1 when the Titans go to Chicago.
Well, he did an actual interview, and I'm going to wait for Reed to maybe find Caleb Williams, talking about actually him playing in this game and why he wasn't playing. And he acted as though he wanted to play based off how he was answering.
Yes.
That's what I deduced.
Yes. Because I think what it was, and Reed's looking it up, he mentioned something of, look, I'll take every snap that they let me take.
Yes.
Yes.
He wants to play.
Yes. And when I heard him say that, I thought, good. He is going to play as much, because if it's me, and again, let's look at Will Levis in this scenario, I would want Will Levis taking as many snaps as possible, whether it was the joint practices that are going to happen with the Seahawks, whether it was
with the ones.
I want everything. Yeah. Obviously, you want him to be protected and not get injured, but at the same time, it's different. And you've talked about this. Coach Mack told me this yesterday, because I get so frustrated with Chig. I'm sitting there. Coach Mack and I are in the end zone. Chig catches a great pass from Will Levis, and as he's going to the ground in the end zone, he fumbles again. And I'm like, stop fumbling! Like, I had to stop myself from actually yelling that. But Coach Mack looks at me and goes, "Hey, still hasn't happened in a game. Powder dry."
Right.
And so, but I want to see in a game how this is going to happen. Caleb Williams needs that same thing. Like, I practice is one thing. So if I want him on the field, I want him practicing and playing. Like, look, everybody will point back to Michael Vick. Michael Vick preseason and him getting injured. I think it was against the Baltimore Ravens in Atlanta, and it totally just derailed the Atlanta Falcons season because he was out for the entire season. But you want him to play, and in fact, Caleb Williams wants to play tonight. At least that's what he said.
I always think there's more pros than cons in anything, especially for a young guy like myself. The reps are always paramount for anybody like myself. A young rookie, second-year guy, third-year guy. It's paramount. It's really important. And we'll see about these preseason games coming up, how they play out.
Yeah, see, that sounds like you want to play. That's it goes once again. I told you, the players have no say so. I don't care how long you've been in the league and how good you are. You really don't have that kind of say so. Maybe a few, quarterbacks here or there, like, Peyton, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, but you get it. Like, most people don't really have say so.
Yeah. See, I truly, if you would have asked me August 2023, I would have said, yeah, Tannehill said he wanted to play, and so Vrabel was giving him snaps. Like, that's what I truly thought. So when you say, I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, Vrabel was like, no, you are going to go take the snaps, and you just get on the field, get the look. We don't want you to get hurt. Just want you to be out there, see another jersey, see another helmet, get a read. That's all we want.
Because just think about this now. If you're Tannehill, you go, so you just want to hand off the ball 3 times in a row? Well, what did that do for me? That didn't help me win anything.
Get you caught up on what you're going to do the remainder of the season. Isn't that what it was last year?
Turn his back to the team.
Yeah, we're just going to have you turn your back.
But yeah, I think they should play him, man. But they're not playing any of their ones, and a lot of people do that, especially in this Hall of Fame game. It's unfortunate because then I lose my appetite by the halftime because I don't know any of these players, and then after half, and I'm thinking, man, probably most of these guys probably aren't going to make it, unfortunately. Yeah. Just saying, I used to be one of those guys.
Well, no,
in the second half, I'm like,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh. So I'll watch if I definitely know some, guys I've watched, whether it was at Tennessee, Vanderbilt, or connection through, friends. I try to watch, but after that, I'm like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah. Well, somebody that is going to be paying attention to every single snap of the Hall of Fame game is Buck Reising, and he would no, not me. No, we're good. And I don't even know if Buck is actually going to even watch a single snap of it, but we will ask him as he joins us next as we try to be the only member of the media in the last 48 hours that will not ask him about Jeff Simmons.
What?
I'm just kidding. No,
okay.
We probably will. 615-737. Yeah, Reed's got tons of questions about it. We'll talk to Buck next on 104.5 The Zone.
Curveball.
If you go to YouTube right now and you look up this song, then you will be seeing D-Hop being featured in a music video. Yeah,
Not that one.
not that one. I thought this was the song.
Nope, that's the artist, not the song.
Dang it.
Touch your nose.
Dang it. Sorry. Ding
Helmet
dong.
of shame?
You know what we do need, though?
Is the helmet of shame back there? Is that going to mess up his pretty hair?
No.
He has to
It's up
put
there.
on
Do you know-
like that goes around half head. But in the meantime, we gotta have some intro for Buck. So what would you prefer your music be for your intro?
We could do what I used to do for 3HL.
Oh no,
We gotta get a whole new one. You gotta Buck.
I just want to hear.
Reising.
I want to hear a different song. I don't like hearing the same music every time.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
Listen. If it was up to me, I would have changed the intro music of my song 6 different times by now. I get tired of the same song over and over and again.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean, Reed, I don't necessarily trust you or your music taste yet. We'll see.
oh, that's
Ramon
why,
has
that's why
told me
we-
this
we
week.
know how you are real specific about so we want to accommodate you.
I've already heard the stray bullets that have been fired my way about the music I
we're
put
trying
in.
to
Your music is
accommodate.
terrible.
My music wasn't for me, though.
Terrible. It's. I mean, the judgment.
Yeah.
The judgment that I have for the music that is in our system right now. It's one of the reasons Lucas and I fight so much because used to, but when I could keep him in another room, used to just put in music, whatever was in there, and it's all just awful.
Oh, well, thanks for that segue. Is that what it was? The awful music you was playing while Big Jeff attacked you?
It's funny.
We didn't even go a minute and a half, man. Didn't even go a minute and a half.
Hey, man.
You know what?
I'm not trying to have no huge dude come tagging me, man.
You know what's so funny about that, Blaine, is half of that clip, I can't hear him because I've got Paramore in my ears coming back from commercial break. And I'm already hard of hearing because we do this for a living with microphones and headphones and all that.
That's why you
So I'm
never
sitting
see
there,
me with these
what?
headphones on.
I mean, I'd say hearing loss is a real thing. No, the Jeff thing, I have never been a football player on a football field in 97-degree heat at a professional level. So I don't know what kind of mindset you have to be in, the level of intensity that you approach things with, but I know how hot these guys run. And I know the idea of him getting into altercations in practice and not being removed from practice and seeing the situation only expedite from there. This was the first day of padded practices for those of you who don't know what we're talking about. Fully padded practices for the Titans at training camp the last 2 days. J.C. Latham and Jeff Simmons. Latham starting with some jawing and some pushing and shoving. Jeff swings at him. They separate, put him back in the next play. There's a fight that's going on afterwards in the very next play because
Between who?
everybody. I mean, it was
We
Jeff.
didn't see who started?
Jeff, and I didn't necessarily see who started because the thing I saw the Jeff Latham thing, and then I looked down at my phone, and then I looked back up, and Jeff was in on the next play, and there was a pile, and Mason Kinsey is in the background jawing for some reason. So I don't know who necessarily instigated that. All I know is it's hot, it's intense. And the interior defensive line has been getting the better of the interior offensive line in these one-on-one team drills. Now, the Jeff thing, Jeff and I have an understanding. We've talked it out. Players have yelled at media before. Okay. Media have had strong words for players before. Right. I truly think that this is the first time that Jeff has had all the scrutiny on him as face of the franchise type of player. And I don't think it's the easiest thing to handle. Now, that's not to excuse the behavior. He knows he can't do that, especially when there's people out there and cameras, and I'm telling him, hey, we're on
You're
live.
trying to forewarn him now.
People can hear you. People can hear you, so you know.
Definitely on Zone TV there.
And, it is what it is. We've talked it through, and, I'll probably have another interaction like that at some point. He'll probably not like something that I've said at some point down the road. But we understand that there's a way to address it and there's a way not to address it, and we move forward. That's how it goes.
I was just happy he came back and apologized.
And he did a great job with that.
Whether you agree to disagree or whatever, So,
and I apologize for my part in it because, I was very dismissive of him while I was on the air, kind of waving him off and being like, hey, I'm being rude to Roger. Let's go.
No,
and I'll deal with you later.
All valid, though. You know what I do want to ask you, because I don't know the etiquette of how that's all supposed to work. When you did say something on social media, why didn't you at him?
I just don't ever do that to players because there's already so many people. Like, they're going to see it. A lot of these guys get stuff sent to them. but it's never.
I didn't know if it was something immediate that they teach y'all and that's why I'm asking.
No, I think it's a personal preference because I don't ever mean to be like, I separate personal criticism from professional criticism, and I think that's where things got blurred with Jeff because that's hard to do sometimes. It's legitimately hard to do. And with that, additionally antagonizing players or praising players, like there's enough crap in their mention. I almost cussed myself. There's enough crap in their mentions already. I don't feel it necessary to bog it down. And I know that is going to be in front of them at some point anyway. So if there's an issue, we'll address it then. But, to needlessly, tagging them feels more antagonistic than just providing that context. But maybe I should. I don't know. It depends on the preference, I guess.
I was sitting here right when you were talking. I was trying to have fun with what just happened, earlier, this week with you and Jeff, and maybe make it into some fun charity type event. I don't know what you could do.
There's no amount of money that I'm getting to get hit by a football player.
That's kind of what I was thinking, just to kind of have fun, and so it will last forever.
Well, unfortunately, Blaine, there are two things that are forever in this world: the internet and TMZ, and both have that damn video. So
yes,
that's where we're at.
And I will say, in all seriousness, you handled it great. Like seriously, because if anybody in that moment, with what he was saying, if you could have heard him in that moment and handled it the way it was, I could see you take a deep breath because that thing could have even went more sideways. And in all seriousness, like I'm telling you, I know I haven't said it off the air, but on the air I will tell you, the way you handled that and the way that you could see how you took a step back for a second was handled fantastically.
Yeah, I'm just glad Roger McCreary was set to come
That's
on.
who I am so happy.
When he's done, though, we can chat. You were like, hey, we got something to do. We can handle this.
I honestly, I love that video for two reasons. One, Lucas is grinning his head off, hoping I get my skull caved in. And two, Roger McCreary sitting there just patiently waiting and then immediately just pivots into me talking about, hey, how did practice go today, bud? So, like I said, Roger was honest to God the rock star of that clip for being a professional in that moment and just kind of riding it out. And he did.
A rock star? No, you are the rock star.
No. I'm not doing that.
Everybody knows you across the country.
Well, that's very annoying. And
how many people viewed that? You told me
it was like at 1.4 million by the end of the day. It was.
So it's got to have been two now.
I don't love my parents calling me last night and saying that they got a bunch of calls from people in different spots around the country because Fox News and TMZ and the New York Post. So no, it's Blaine. You know this. For as much as I like to, ham it up a little bit, I don't like being the story. It's uncomfortable. And I didn't like the look for anybody involved in that situation. And I regret that it played out the way that it did. But that's what happened. And like I said, Jeff and I talked about it. We move on.
Well, and I also applaud that from you as well as Big Jeff, that you guys went to the side. No cameras, no audio. Just look, we want.
Plenty of people got damn pictures of it, though.
Some people decide not want to be a private moment.
Whatever.
But
couldn't be private.
You two went off and you handled it and you talked face to face. And I'm complimenting both of you guys, not one or the other, because that also took a lot from Big Jeff to say, hey, look, we definitely need to talk about this.
Sure, because if I was him, I'd also told me to kick rocks. And so not so many, maybe not as colorful a term, but still.
Yeah, just caught him on a bad day, and that's how I'm kind of going to look at it. And you handled it professionally.
And I'm loud, and they're standing right in front of me as I'm yelling, about what's going on the radio and how sloppy it was that day.
Well, let's talk about actual football.
Oh, please God.
Let's do that. So what are you actually more watching for as far as some of the battles that'll be out there that, we're kind of not really talking about a lot, and it could affect the actual team and their success, by the way.
So I will preface this by saying we have talked so much about offensive line, so there's no way for me to go through the first 2 days of pads and say that I've been watching much more than how those two groups, offensive and defensive line, are working against one another. So to the point of that, it's not just the frontline starters, it's the depth guys too, and there's not a lot of teams that have quality depth offensive linemen here, but they're trying to figure out who their best five are. And I don't think that it's written in stone that John Ojukwu or Sadiq Charles are going to be starters just because they've started camp that way. I think this is how they're finding out. And to date, the interior defensive line of Jeff and Sweat and Harold, who's now practicing again after losing 10 to 15 pounds with that illness, that's tough stuff, especially when you're losing so much weight anyway in training camp. It's tough to sustain that way. they have been getting the better of the interior of the Titans offensive line, including Lloyd Cushenberry, who we all know is a quality player. So to see the way that that's played out, to see the way that the defense has been able to kind of stymie the offense and make it adjust from one day to the next. A lot of quick passing yesterday after the first day did not go to plan for the offense. A lot of running the football to try and get the offensive line going, for lack of a better term. It's going to be a slow burn. I think a lot of people are so excited about Bill Callahan that they're just kind of like, all right, our offensive line's fine now. No, it's still a progression, and it won't look in week 1 the way it looks in week 8, and it won't look in week 8 the way that it does in week 15. So like these things are a constant progression, and injuries aside, there's just going to be a general learning curve here, and that seeing them put the pads on finally and getting to ask coaches questions now that they've had the pads on has made a lot of difference in how I'm looking at those competitions.
Yeah, no doubt about it, especially NPF. Everybody just assuming he's going to come back and be some studded, starter, when before that he was just okay, I'm going to give him that. Now coming off an injury and not working with his actual coach, Callahan, the best in the business, all offseason, on field. I'm sure in the meeting rooms and everything else, but we all know there's a difference between in the meeting room and then hitting Big Bertha, right?
Oh, sure.
And then getting used to that and then teaching you all of the things that he's teaching these guys out here live in action. So I'm not going to assume that when he comes back, he's going to be up to par. I think it's going to take a little bit. We're talking about a guy who's out with a shoulder injury, a guy in the trenches, and now knee. So I think we're making a huge, a mistake by assuming that he's just going to come back. He's the answer.
He can be a part of the solution, right? Because they're going to have multiple tackles that can play. Like Leroy Watson is working in jumbo packages right now. Like you have to have guys who are ready and can fill kind of roles. But to your point about MPF, I hate the fact that he's missing time for an injury that did not end his season. Like the knee being a situation that none of us had on our radar, but is costing him now time into camp. And he's expected to be out there rehabbing on Friday, based on my understanding. I don't know if that's full go practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, because Bill Callahan said we were hoping to get a look at him Friday. And also Bill Callahan said something interesting about really not getting a ton of time around him with Ramon, Kayla, and Will when I heard that interview the other day, which stuck out to me. So, and of course, he's referencing a lot of the same stuff that you're saying, Blaine, because they've done so much on the field, even without the pads, because there's all kinds of technique that's being learned, all kinds of different things that they're working through with the new coaching staff that, no, NPF should not just be penciled in as somebody who's going to come in and plug and play right tackle. In fact, he's probably going to spend the vast majority of this season chasing because he's missed so much quality time already. Doesn't mean that he can't, still end up being a quality player at some point. I just don't think it's going to be right away.
Buck Reising Show, A to Z Sports, joining us in studio right now, 104.5 The Zone. NPF isn't benefiting from it just yet, but which 2023 Titan is benefiting from this new coaching staff the most,
Levis.
do you think?
Yeah, that's quarterback. I mean, all three of the quarterbacks Malik and Levis look better and look more decisive. Malik in particular has been a big talking point because I think there's a lot more growth there. I know that there's a lot more growth that has to happen there for him to be replacement level starter, backup quarterback type. But for Levis, I don't think there's any question that having a quarterback-centric staff, that's what this is. His head coach is a career quarterback and career quarterback coach. His quarterback's coach in Bo Hardegree played the position at a very high level. I believe Charles London, before being his QB coach and passing game coordinator last year, was a running backs coach. I don't remember if Charles had quarterback coach on his resume prior to doing that job with the Titans, but I don't want to speak out of turn there. Point being, I have talked to people informed on the situation that are telling us beyond what we're seeing on the field that these guys are really benefiting from this specific coaching staff. And it's easy to say right now because they haven't been put in that many adverse situations, but there's significant growth there.
Well, then what about like Kenneth Murray on this? Because we've talked about how something wasn't right in LA, but you're starting to see him do more in practice this way. the coaching staff, was it a verbiage thing, a simplification? Like, what do you think is going with that?
It's too early. I mean, he looks good in practice. That's about the extent of my Kenneth Murray observations. I want to see him in games. I want to see how they're going to deploy him. I want to know if he can be something more than he's been, because he's been a starting caliber linebacker. He just frankly hasn't been a very good one in Los Angeles, and I don't know if that's his fault, Brandon Staley's fault, or whatever, but I don't think there was ever any question about him looking the part. He's an incredibly well-built, highly athletic predator at the inside linebacker spot, but, can he put it together in a game situation? That is, I'm going to reserve judgment on Kenneth Murray, the practice player, before I see him in a game.
And then, dang it, tell me, why does Chig keep fumbling?
Yeah, it's less than ideal.
It's so frustrating.
So we had Chig on yesterday, and, talking to him a little bit about, Blaine, we talked a lot about this on the pregame show, like why he was a non-factor or struggling as much as he did in the first, I don't know, almost damn near 3/4 of the season.
Easy, right? It went for a minute.
And then the thing was, already too far gone, and Chig started to come on, and I don't know how to kind of like marry those things. And we talked to him yesterday about working with this coaching staff and the vibes and all the things that he's made reference to before about how much, just generally, and I'm paraphrasing here, but guys aren't on pins and needles as much, and that's allowing you to play more comfortably, operate more comfortably, and the like. But I take Brian Callahan at his word when he opened up training camp with his press conference saying that no one tight end is going to dominate this room. So I think that Chig is a part of the solution. I just don't think that Chig is like definitively tight end one. And I feel like I've been trying to tell people like that for the entire offseason.
Because you keep hearing so much about Wiley and how good Wiley's doing, but then Chig's still getting the first team reps. And then he, again, fumbles like he did yesterday in the end zone.
I just want to see how much tight end actually matters in this offense, because it wasn't a high priority in the Bengals offense. Yeah. And, I don't know that it's going to be just the Bengals offense that we're going to watch next year based on what they have. But the wide receivers are clearly the better skill group. The running backs are clearly the better skill group. You can use both of those things in the pass game. How are the tight ends going to be deployed, and what is the importance of them in certain sets? We'll find out.
Well, we got to get you a national question. And you see all these quarterbacks getting paid. That is not what I'm going to ask you, though. I'm going to ask you, which one is going to be the one they made a boo-boo? Which one is going to be the biggest mistake that they paid, if any of them?
Buyer's remorse.
Yes. There you go.
Man, it just feels like Tua. and I struggle with that because he's statistically productive, and it's not just the system. Like, he works that system so well, which is why they excel. But they turtle in cold weather games, and you play
against teams that have winning records.
That's true too. Like, they seem paper tiger-ish to me, the Miami Dolphins, and I'm not like, Tua is one of the best quarterbacks in football. There's no disputing that. But Lawrence, I'm not out on, even though he hasn't really proven it just yet. Love, the more that I watch him, the more that I just think like this guy needed to play earlier, and the whole Aaron Rodgers thing really sandbagged him here. I know there can be something said about sitting and learning and developing or whatever, but this was an extended process. This guy needed to play, and 8 games is a small sample size to fork over that kind of cash, but that's the going rate for starting quarterbacks, and he kicked the hell out of the Dallas Cowboys last year. The other quarterbacks that got contracts, who am I leaving out? Lawrence, Tua, Love, and is there a fourth?
Well, Dak is going to be the next. He's $60 million.
Dak's got Jerry by the neck at this point, because the Cowboys just continue to make foolish
and we can say Herbert.
Decisions.
I mean, I know he got paid last year, but yeah.
Yeah, no, of those three, Tua is probably the one that I would go to, because they look like a totally different team in cold weather and against teams that are of supposedly their same quality.
All right, before we let you go, Uncle Bob wanted to say something to you before we get you out of here.
Hey, Bob.
Uncle Bob, how's it going?
Hey, y'all, I appreciate you squeezing me in there. I meant to call a couple of days ago, but when the big man came in there, I mean, Buck Moore, you got all my respect. You didn't flinch. It could have been Bigfoot, Sasquatch coming in there. Man, I thought you were cool. I appreciate it, and I just really enjoyed the moment, and you're a great journalist. God bless y'all.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
I appreciate the call,
Let's
Bob.
get the other question for Buck there. We got Kevin from Gallatin.
No.
Yeah. What, you know this guy?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. There we go. What's going
Kevin.
on?
What's up, Kevin?
Hey guys, as enjoyable as that was the other day, I'll have to say nothing will ever top the day that Blaine went after Paul Kaharski in the studio a few years ago.
That was not as a player though. That was actually as a media member.
I wasn't working here yet, but even I know about that.
I don't even know what I did, to be honest. Something I think I said the day before. It's what I was related
I can't remember. I just remember I was still, I think I was fresh out of college and I just moved down here, and I remember hearing something about that and being like, oh, those guys sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I even talked to TK after that. I was like, well, why did you go off on me? Well, what did I do? He said he couldn't even remember.
That's always, like, there are so many of those interactions at a certain point, they're not important. They're interesting in the moment, but they're not important.
Yeah. That went viral, but only in the state.
Nothing like your natural.
Lucky you.
There's people at the Olympics right now that now know who Buck Reising is.
For God's sakes.
Yeah, Steph Curry said hi. I saw him wave. Said hi, Buck.
It's because he can't see. He's got his glasses on. He thought he was waving at somebody else. Andrew Luck at the Olympics. Hey, bud.
Buck, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for hopping on,
Class
bro.
act, bro.
Absolutely. A to Z Sports. Make sure you check him out there, as well as follow him on Twitter at Buck Reising. We continue 104.5 The Zone. Reed, is this a VFL that's getting ready to swim right now at the Olympics? As we come back, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Blaine, with his amazing eye, we have the Olympics on as we're speaking and is getting ready for, I think it's the 500 meter for swimming. And the first thing Blaine goes, was it? Oh, is it a 50? Oh, it's a 50 meter. Yeah, it's 50 meter free swim. And he goes, wait, is that a VFL? Is that a Vol that's getting ready to swim right there?
For the U.S.?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No, that's dress. So he's with another country.
The guy from Ireland, or there's a girl from Ireland that swims.
They went to UT?
That went to UT.
Yeah.
I think that may be the only. We may. I think
Dressel got second.
I think they have two. This is only a semifinal.
Yeah.
The finals isn't until tomorrow for this.
Oh, okay.
But as we were talking to Buck just a few moments ago, Simone Biles just won her second Olympic all-around gold and her 9th career Olympic gymnastics medal. And her teammate, Suni Lee, came in third with bronze.
Oh, so the Brazilian lady I saw her running on with her flag there, so she got second.
Yeah. So, so Simone Biles just won gold and Lee just won the bronze.
Oh, okay, cool.
War Eagle for Lee. If we're going to throw colleges out, because, as a matter of fact, Tennessee, I pulled up the list of some of the Tennessee Vols that are going to be there. Erica Connolly is who Reed was referring to. She's swimming in the 4x100 meter freestyle there. You've also got Christian Coleman, who's going to be doing track and field, as well as Christian Bailey, that is going to be doing track and field from the Vols. And Kelsey Robinson Cook is playing women's volleyball. Those are some of your Vols that are in Paris right now as we speak.
Sweet.
No. So those are
what a heck of an experience, man.
No, and I've always wanted to experience this as far as outside the country.
I did. I went to the Atlanta one. That
You
was
went
my
to
experience. I went to see.
I never got to, even I lived 2 hours away from Atlanta and I never even went close.
Yeah.
Never even went close to it. I saw it when it was being built, all the stadium was being built for the Olympics and they were getting ready. But I never actually got to see the Olympics.
What year was that?
96.
Yeah,
96.
4 years in LA.
Yeah.
We can go. Y'all want to go in LA?
Let's go.
4 years?
Let's set up right there at the LA Coliseum and let's just go ahead and rock it. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's figure out where they're going to be. Because it's not just LA.
It's going to be spread out, too.
It's going to be spread out across the country. I mean, even, like when Utah and Salt Lake City had the Olympics, it wasn't just right there in Salt Lake City. It's all across the state. And sometimes it's in different parts of the state or maybe even a totally different one. So absolutely, let's go ahead and go do it. I'm all game for it. Blaine, you can go watch swimming. Because
I think Paul Mace said he's going to send us.
Let's do it.
To cover it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I mean, let's go. I know that.
And Reed. That's it. Nobody else.
Just me and Reed?
Me and you and Reed.
Us three. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Us three, we're going to go there. We're going to sit up. We're going to sit on top of the H in the Hollywood sign and just have our binoculars going. I mean, that was Teresa Walker's idea to have the volleyball right in front of the Hollywood sign the other day when we talked to her from Paris. I say we just go ahead and do that. Reed, you on board?
Let's do it. Jackson wants to say something.
I'm hurt, to be honest.
Why?
I didn't see you in there.
Why?
They got the 10 and winning because he said all 4 of us could go.
Well, no,
is that what you're saying? Yeah.
All I heard is just y'all three. I mean,
I know because I didn't know you were in there. I can't see the 10 is there. It's getting a little darker.
Well, they like to keep the studio, the control room in there, like
turn
it's
the lights out in the dark, like you're at the club.
That's why I call it the Black Abyss. You can't see anything in there. There could be 45 people sitting in that room. You can't see it.
Yeah, you got to start moving around a lot.
Yeah.
There's a reason Buck calls it the shadows.
Yes, it is the shadows. You can't see anything. The only reason I can see Reed is because the light from the one light bulb that's right above the window in front of the control room looking into this room is shining on him.
I can't see Reed. I couldn't even see Jackson until he waved because it's a reflection on the mirror that looks like mirroring you. That's who I see in there, and I kept looking like.
So wait, you're hearing Jackson's voice with my motions?
Yeah. No, when I look at the window, it's reflecting of you over there.
So Jackson looks like
there.
So Jackson has
Is this
a mohawk.
Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
He has a mohawk. And what was it? I think somebody on F&M Bank chat just a second ago just called me the human toothbrush.
Oh my.
Yeah, Jibo called me the human toothbrush. I mean, he's not wrong. It looks like a toothbrush, but I'm just saying. All right. Now, when we come back, second hour of this as we continue going Vols on the practice field. We will talk about that and the Hall of Fame game. What will you be watching the Hall of Fame game for? What is the purpose of you sitting down in front of the television and watching it tonight? We've thrown it out as a poll question, and we'll ask you and we'll talk to you about that when we come back. As he is the hitman Blaine Bishop, I am Joe Hunk, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Have you noticed how unreliable things have become these days? Like when someone tells you it'll be ready at 4 p.m. and it's not? People are really tired of that stuff. So if you headed to with unreliable vehicle repair shops, come on over to Eurofix. And Eurofix turns unreliable into reliable. And Eurofix will have your vehicle ready when they say it will be ready, and you won't be sitting around waiting all freaking day. And Eurofix repairs all European cars with quality that beats the dealer and without the dealer pricing. And that's because dealer repair shops are designed to pay virtually all of the dealership's overhead. And that's a lot of moolah money, by the way. And why would you want to pay for that? Well, at Eurofix, reliable also means 3-year nationwide warranty and plus a free loaner car with every repair appointment. So make sure you call ahead, as loaner cars are very, very popular. So if you're tired of the unreliable repair shops, come on over to Reliable, and that'll be Eurofix. Family owned for 24 years. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But I'm still Blaine.
Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. No practice for the Titans today, so the only Titans that making the news is L'Jarius Sneed because Madden 25's ratings just dropped for cornerbacks, and he comes in at number 5 with a rating of 92. That's going to help Hunk's baby Titans. Tonight, Houston Texans and Chicago Bears going at it at 7 p.m. You can watch it on ESPN, ABC, or you can be a cool kid and listen to it right here on 104.5 The Zone. And the Pro Bowl is staying in Orlando for 2025. It will be the 6th time that the Pro Bowl games will be in Orlando, which we hope no Titan will be at because they're in the Super Bowl. And the Olympics, Belgium and the U.S. getting going in mere moments over in France. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans. This is 104.5 The Zone. Women's basketball just tipped off in France as we had Teresa Walker on the show earlier this week, and she just tweeted out that this Belgium crowd is so loud that she can barely hear herself talk, and that this is now a road game for Team USA as they are trying to reach the quarterfinals with a win tonight. Or right now, today, as it is in America. So good afternoon to you. Second hour, last hour, best hour for the Hitman Blaine Bishop and myself, Joe Hunk, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. But yes, we do have football tonight. Texans and Bears.
The Bears.
Okay, be honest, Blaine. If this was not on your screen right now, which is USA and Belgium.
Which we just got on there, the women's Olympic team.
Women's basketball. If this was not on your screen right now and this was coming on at 7 p.m. on NBC tonight, which one would you be watching?
If they both came on at the same time?
Exact same time.
Yeah, I would be watching the football. Even without Caleb Williams, I'd probably be watching at least half of the first quarter, both sides of the ball on offense, just to see what they look like. See if I can get any tips from what they like to do
defensive
for the Bears.
Schemes, everything.
Then after that, I'll probably turn it to the women's basketball.
Okay, well, see, and help me out with this, because I know that we're going to, over the next month, we are going to talk to a bunch of coaches, players, former players, and everything about the preseason. But you played in it. You know what the game plan is going into a preseason game. Is there really anything as a former player that you're going, you know what, they actually show more than what you think that you can actually use to pay attention to in the regular season?
Really, the preseason game, you're not even either team, at least as far as our team, is especially the first preseason game, you didn't even hardly watch film of them, like, at all. Like, you're just working on your principles. You're keeping it basic. You're not game planning for them or anything like that. So, I don't think you take much out of the preseason, at least the first one anyway.
Right.
But you can get the fundamental principles of what they're trying to do. And other than that, though, nobody is giving you anything that they're going to do, outside of the, base defense or offenses that they run.
Well,
so
then for you, we put this out on social media, and this is one of the poll question that we have for the day, involves the Hall of Fame game tonight that is going to be happening, and you can watch it, or I should say listen to it right here on 104.5 The Zone, is we're asking Titans fans, what will you be watching the Hall of Fame game for tonight? Will it be intel on the Houston Texans, which the Titans will see twice this season? Will it be intel on the Chicago Bears, which is your first game of the regular season? Will it be to see the new kickoff rule, or are you just fiending for football and you just want to see two players with opposite helmets hitting each other?
Oh man, I could probably check all those. As a player, when I was a player, I would have checked the box. I get to watch two of the teams that we're going to play.
Yeah.
And one you play twice. Okay, so I definitely would have been watching as a current player. As a fan, I'm probably getting my fix on and get ready to start watching football. So I'm definitely going to probably watch it for half as a fan for sure. You want to recognize some of the players and some of the new players and, what they do and how they look. So that would connect me. And I would wait around and be pissed off if I don't see it. But the kickoff rule in the fourth quarter, I don't know, especially this is time to kind of tinker. So that means one of the teams have to say, we're going to onside kick here, right? No, not the kickoff rule is right from the jump, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so you'll get to see both of those. Yeah, so I would want to see that too, to have an opinion on not necessarily what they do, but what it could turn into.
You see, and Daniel says on the F&M Bank chat, it's football. It's guys fighting their tails off to make a roster. It may not be a clean game, but the emotion is there. And
look,
no doubt. There are people like that, and I'm not questioning anybody. Like personally, for me, like when college football starts, I want to watch good football. Like, I just want to watch talented teams go up against each other. Like, I'm just that guy. But tonight, if I'm answering one of these four, and I voted on it, and I reposted, the new kickoff rule. That's all I care about. That is all I care about. Because regardless of the strategy, like you were talking about, we're not preparing for the other team. We're just working on ourselves, all of this stuff. The kickoff rule is there. They are preparing for that. They are working on that. And every single team, I believe, and obviously please correct me, but every single team is going to be watching everybody else's preseason games to figure out what they're doing with this and going back and watching old UFL and XFL games to learn the strategy of how to use this kickoff rule. Yeah. So that, I think, is probably going to be the truest part of this game that you'll be paying attention to. I'm not the guy that just says, hey, I just want to see two guys, I want to see football. I'm fiending for it. I'll watch maybe the kickoff and maybe the first series. I may have it on in the background the rest of the night, but I'm not like staring at it and going through everything Coach Mack has taught me over the last few weeks about looking at it. So I just want to watch the kickoff rule. That is it, because I want to see how that is going to be implemented. The hip drop tackle. Are we going to see any flags on that tonight?
I don't know. It's desperate times. May see it in the third and fourth quarter, especially guys who are fighting for their lives.
Yes.
Hey, man. Well, it wasn't too long ago, man. I think I jumped over what they call a wedge block and flipped up out of nowhere just because. I'm like, hey, man, I got to make a play.
Wait,
and then I regretted that. After.
You jumped the wedge block and it flipped you?
Oh, my. I think that might have been, even though I got knocked out before, I think that might have been the hardest I got hit. Like, it really, like, the next day I was like, dang, man, where all these bruises come from?
Just because you were like, I got to make a play.
I got to do something.
Well, see, and Joshua threw another curveball in this because, like, Coach Mack and I yesterday, he talked to one of the NFL officials that were at Titans practice, and one of the things that official talked about was like, hey, look, this is a learning experience for us as well when it comes to the kickoff rule. So this preseason is going to be a learning experience for them as well. And the other part of this is what Joshua brings up is there is no chain gang anymore, at least in the preseason. So we're going to get to see the new technology when it comes to first down markers. And they're just testing it during the preseason. And so that's going to be a way that we can see, like, how accurate is this when it comes to the football, the first down marker, making the game faster, those sort of things. So that may keep me around for like another quarter. Just because I want to see somebody say, all right, they're coming out to measure. Oh, let's send it up to the booth to measure, or however they're going to do this eagle eye thing that they're going to be working on.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how that even works.
Yeah, like, is it going to be like soccer where they go to like a screen and it shows like a dot of where the football went to, or is it going to be like tennis whenever you try to see if it's in or on the line or in or out? Like, are we going to get that tonight? Like, how is that
done on the field as far as the players and how they notified? Is it called up from the top to the referee? Like, how does that work?
Do they get
sideline guy?
Yeah. Does the head official get a buzz down like you're in the SEC and they, because they have reviews upstairs and they say, hold on, give us a second. Okay, no, you're good. Because if it's anything like college or like minor league baseball, where minor league baseball uses the challenge method with balls and strikes, it's instantaneous. Like, all it does is the batter steps out of the batter's box. He says, I want to challenge it. The umpire turns around, points upstairs, and then they automatically show the pitch, and it's maybe 10 to 15 seconds. It is quick, and they show where the ball went, and boom, there it is. So is that what we're going to get with football?
Ooh, I hope it's that fast.
I hope so.
I hope it works like that. Then I'll be like, hey, man, let's put it in the regular season now.
Because right now, from like the NFL official last week, he said that this is most likely not going to be ready for the actual regular season, that it won't be until next year that they may be implementing this. So there's going to be issues. That there's going to be things where this may mess up. Do they have a chain gang that's just hanging out in a locker room somewhere just in case the technology goes down?
Well, they may still do the chain gang just to, make sure everything works out right. Because what if it, have a glitch with something happened or it didn't work, it went out. You don't know. So I think if I was them, I would have the chain gang there just for safety measures as far as just in case something went wrong technically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Daniel,
I don't know if they are, though. I have no idea. Do we know that?
No, and that's where the question comes in is there a chip on both ends of the football? Is there a chip somewhere in the middle? Because what if one of that crosses the line? Like, is there a certain spot that has to cross over this line? Now that we're talking about it, that's my answer. I mean, I want to see the kickoff rule, but now I'm more interested in this chip thing because this is something that if we're talking about modern football in 2024, this should have been implemented 20 years ago. Like, we should have had this for a very long time. And the fact they're testing it out now, I want to see how this works because this can change everything. Because now because you've seen it in games. Some coaches, hey, can we get a measurement on this? I'm thinking about going for it on fourth down. And really, it's just giving them an extra timeout. Mm-hmm. Like, those are strategies that are used. That's now out of this unless it does take that long to see it.
Oh, so this is going to be interesting. I think you just made me want to watch more than just a half.
Now I made myself even want to watch even more than a half.
I'm going to be watching. It's not going to just be on. I'm going to be kind of watching and like, hey, let me make sure I'm paying attention.
Yeah. Like
after halftime.
I don't want them to be good. I just want them to be like good enough to go 9 3/4 of a yard so I can get some measurements. That's all I want. I want you to get on the goal line and try to jump the pile. And I want to see, you stick the ball out. If we're going to use that to measure and see what counts and what doesn't count. Like, that's all I want the Hall of Fame game now to be tonight. Talk about the kickoff rule. And I want you to talk about the first down marker to explain to me how this is going to work through the football season. That's all I care about. Now that we've talked about this is all I care about. I want to see this going because I want modern sports. That's all I want. Just like I want the challenge method to go in baseball, the challenge strike zone method. I don't want the robot ump where the umpire behind it sits there and goes, "Robot told me it was a strike, so I'm calling it a strike." It one hopped the catcher. Doesn't matter. He told me it's a strike. It's a strike. No, I don't want that. I want the guy that can challenge the play and challenge the strike. Give me that, and it's more modern sports. It's all I'm asking for. It is. So, what are you watching the Hall of Fame game for tonight? Is it intel? Is it the kickoff rule? Is it the fact that you just need football? Is it now because of Daniel and Joshua helping us out on the F&M Bank chat, the new first down marker? What is it that you're looking for? 615-737-1045. He is the hitman Blaine Bishop. I am Joe Hunk, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 1045 The Zone.
Hey, Tennessee, summer is in full swing, and Cool Ray's here to make sure your home is ready for all the fun and the sun. We've got sizzling deals that will keep you comfortable and worry-free all season long. So ensure your family stays hydrated and healthy with free water quality testing. Because nothing beats a refreshing drink of pure water on a hot summer day. And Cool Ray also offers a $149 main sewer line camera inspection. And right now, they also offer 15% off whole home dehumidifiers as well as $500 off whole home generators. So let Cool Ray take care of your home so you can focus on making memories. So call today and take advantage of those scorching hot deals. Cool Ray, your trusted partner for a cool and comfortable Tennessee summer. So visit coolray.com or just give us a call now at 615, of course, 570-0900. That's 570-0900. Cool Ray, keeping Tennessee cool, plumber right, and always lights bright.
If you're paying attention to X as you sit here and watch, maybe you're watching us on X or YouTube or Facebook or Twitch simply by going and searching for Zone TV on all of our social media platforms. You can hop in on the F&M Bank chat and talk about basically pretty much anything you want. As right now, Bart's telling us that the reason he's watching the Hall of Fame game tonight is because of the fact that it's just football. He just wants to watch football. That's it. And we want to know the reason why you're going to be watching tonight.
Watch the Hall of Famers get inducted.
Hall of Famers going to be getting inducted. Coach Mack was talking to me about that yesterday with Mongo McMichael going in. And, unfortunately, Mongo with
McMichael.
Yeah. So, I always called him Mongo just because I was a wrestling fan.
Oh.
He
did wrestling?
Yeah, he did WCW. And this goes back to my childhood. One thing that I've told Blaine multiple times is sadly, a lot of my music education that I got as a kid was through movies. Like I would sit and I'll hear a song and I'll say, it's in that movie. That's in that movie. Like I remember it. The way that I knew about Mongo McMichael was because of WCW when he wrestled it for that. And I'd always see him on Monday Night Nitro. Oh. I had no clue he was a football player probably till I was about 16. I didn't. I had no idea.
Well, that's because he used to be. I mean, you were young.
Yeah, I had no clue. I mean, again, when they won the Super Bowl, I was 1 year old. Like Coach Mack, this is kind of weird and sad, but Coach Mack was coaching the Chicago Bears in 1986, and I hadn't even turned 2 years old yet. I mean, not to make you feel weird.
I think it was 85, by the way.
And
Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah, and so it's like thinking about all of that with this is, so you get the Hall of Fame game happening tonight. You got the players being inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. And the Olympics are going on right now, where this game between USA and Belgium is way closer than I think some people may have thought that may not know basketball or anything. But Blaine and I were talking because right now USA is only up 29-25, and it's about halfway through the second quarter as the game's going on. But Teresa Walker tweeted out that this feels like a Belgium home game, because of the amount of people from Belgium that have made their way to the arena where this game is being played.
Yeah, so then we went and looked up how close Belgium was to this arena.
Absolutely. So this arena is in a city, and I cannot say it. And even I think...
No, you got to try.
Because it looks like Lille. It's Lille.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe Lille. I don't know.
You're going to give me something really hard here.
No, it's not like German or something where it's about things that have dots on top of it. Like you're just... I don't even know what that means.
Call it Lille.
Yeah, just go call it Lille. But... in France, where this game's being held, it's only 66 miles from the Belgium line.
And that's why so many fans there. And she said she couldn't, Miss T, Teresa Walker said there's a whole bunch of Belgium fans here and they're drowning out the USA fans.
It's about
like a home game for them.
For where our studio is, it's about from here to Lewisburg away. That's how far, just to give a visual of how far away it is, that's how close Belgium is to where this game is being played. So that's the reason why it's like a home game for the country of Belgium as they're going at it now. Team USA having a 6-point lead as we speak. But the other thing that's going on is the fact that not only are the Titans having practice, the Vols are having practice. We are 30 days away from the kickoff between Tennessee and Chattanooga. Like 30 days away. Like Reed today was going, I can't believe it's August. I can't believe it's here. We actually get real football, not only tonight, but we're also getting it for the Vols, and you have a lot of Vols fans that are getting excited. The crazy thing is On3 put out their playoff predictions, which remember, 12-team playoff now. Tennessee Vols are in their 12-team prediction of making the college football playoff this year.
Really?
Yes.
What?
On3 has them as one of the 12
Reed
teams.
shook his head like with confidence, like, yeah,
darn right we are. Darn right we are. We are in the 12 team.
I can't see him.
No, can't see him. You have no
Watch
clue.
this. All I saw was a mustache move. That's all I could see.
Oh, wait, no, he is in there.
He is in there.
Turn the light on. Just turn the light on.
All those driving, not your car light inside your interior.
Yeah, so the projection on this, according to On3, they have the 12-team projection. Remember, the top 4 conference champions get a first-round bye, which I do not think is actually a win, but okay. And they have Georgia as your SEC champion, Oregon as your Big Ten, Miami as your ACC.
Wait a minute, go back.
Oops, sorry, let me back
Oregon
up.
is the Big Ten. Just listen to that. Oregon is the Big Ten champion. I mean, that sounds so crazy.
It looks,
and they're on the West Coast.
It looks so odd now because, yes, college football 25 is out. We're all doing our dynasties and everything. And seeing Oregon with the Big Ten logo on their jerseys looks so strange.
Well, just think UCLA and USC.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, my God.
Oh, for those of you that don't know, UCLA is in L.A. With USC.
According to Sean Foster.
Those of you that don't know about UCLA, they play it at a stadium that is called the Rose Bowl. They never fill it.
Oh, my.
Ever.
Except for the Rose Bowl.
Except for an actual Rose Bowl game. They never fill that thing. So, but yes, Oregon, they're having as projected as the Big Ten champion.
Weird.
Miami, they're projecting as the ACC champion. In Utah, they have as the Big 12 champion. So those are the 4 teams that be getting a bye. Can you guess how many more? Because I've already mentioned Georgia. Can you guess how many other SEC teams they have in this 12-team playoff?
Well, we know for sure one because that's Tennessee. You said
I said Tennessee's in, so you got Tennessee.
That's 2.
So you got
Georgia.
2.
I'm going to say Alabama.
Alabama is in there.
Okay.
Now, here's the kicker. They have Alabama as the 10 seed, which is one right in front of Tennessee. So they have Alabama as a 10 seed. They have Tennessee as an 11 seed.
So those are only 3 then.
So that means, because again, Georgia's your number 1. So the thought is that Georgia beats Alabama this year. But they have 2 more SEC teams in front of Alabama and Tennessee. So Georgia's number 1. So in between Georgia and Alabama at 10, there are 2 other SEC teams that they have in this college football playoff.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, they have at number 5. The number 1 at-large bid is Ole Miss, according to On3, and what they're projecting for the season.
Oh, and I'm going to go curveball Missouri.
No. Creative.
I know. I was getting
creative.
Well, who was the other team?
Hook 'em.
Oh, I should have known it was going to be
'em.
Texas. Yeah,
They have Texas.
Yeah, because a lot of people had Texas even winning the SEC, even against Georgia.
So in this scenario, if this takes place, remember, because the first round is happening on site. So here are the matchups you would get. You would get Ole Miss hosting the 12 seed, which is App State, according to On3.
App State.
App State as the number 1, as the Sun Belt champion.
Okay.
They have them getting there. The 6th seed it would be facing the 11, which is where Tennessee is. They have Tennessee going to Columbus, Ohio, and taking on Ohio State, which would be an awesome helmet matchup. This one would be fun, as Alabama is the 10 seed. They would have Alabama traveling to the number 7 seed, which is Florida State. So Alabama, Florida State, and Tallahassee would be awesome. And then they have Texas hosting Notre Dame at 9. Because, it's Notre Dame. They have to be in this thing, apparently. I think it's written in the rules.
They got heavy pockets, man.
Yeah.
I think it's not stopping them from running.
I think it is written in the rule book somewhere that they have to play, that they have to have Notre Dame.
Have I ever told you I grew up a Notre Dame fan?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
And it all happened.
You say to Indiana. It makes sense.
It was. South Bend is really, really far, like 4.5 hours from Indy. It's because I went to a Catholic high school and our uniforms looked exactly like them, and we were the Fighting Irish. Cathedral Fighting Irish. So
Makes
you had
sense.
no chance but to cheer for Notre Dame because they had the same uniform, same helmets, everything.
Look, there are periods of time, and I've held off on this. There are periods of time because of the high school that I went to. We were the New Hope Indians. We still are the New Hope Indians. They haven't changed their name or anything. But when I was playing, all of our gear was Cleveland Indians gear. Every bit of it.
And so you became a Cleveland Indians fan.
So I have so much Cleveland Indians gear. It is ridiculous, old and new. Like I have sweatshirts that have the Cleveland
Didn't they
Indians
change their
logos.
name now?
Yes, they're the Guardians. It's stupid. It's stupid. But see, here's the thing about it. Because again, social media, everybody wants to freak out about everything. But when I was younger, I've told you, I have like a fascination. I basically have like a hat fetish. Like I have so many baseball hats, it is ridiculous. Like I had to just buy a bigger container over the weekend to put all of my hats in because I have way too many and they're just all around my closet. But on eBay, I was able to find what they call the large Chief Wahoo Cleveland Indians hat, which is the one that was worn in the movie Major League and Major League 2. Like that was their logo all the way up until last year. I want to wear the thing. I thought about wearing it today, but my first thought is, God, I'll wear this thing on camera and everybody's going to just go crazy. Like, oh, look at him being the racist with the big Chief Wahoo on his head.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I have all this Indians gear. It's like what you were saying with Notre Dame. Like, you have all this Notre Dame stuff, and you grew up liking Notre Dame because of the gear.
I had a whole bunch of gear,
Yeah,
but I did say, I grew up, but it was almost impossible.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah, see, and that's... I totally get it. Like, if you looked in my closet, everybody go, why do you have all this Cleveland Indians stuff?
Yeah, it hurt me to my heart. Still today, Lujo said, I don't know. I think you're a little too small for us.
I mean, there was a little bit of a lisp to it, but I mean, he said that. Look, he does. It's famous. It's not like I'm saying something everybody always, oh, man, how you making fun? Everybody makes fun of the list.
Right. Well, everybody goes back to their childhood and what impacted them, and it's a little bit different as you get older, but definitely when you're young, man.
Well, yeah, and it's okay. Yeah. I mean, I have my reasons for cheering for Auburn and Tennessee over cheering for Alabama. I mean, I have my reasons.
Yeah, I want you to wear that.
You want me to wear Chief Wahoo?
I do.
Okay, look.
I do.
I was truly going to wear it today. And one of the things and the problem that I ran into is, what did I tell you happened yesterday at practice? I got sunburnt.
Yeah, you got burned.
So I was going to wear a hat today to cover up the sunburn on the noggin because I was doing
no practice.
I was trying to do aloe vera, all this stuff on there. Like I was trying to aloe everything, trying to get it to go down. The problem is I put a hat on right before I was about to roll out, and it hurt my head because the hat going on my head hurt. So
it hurt your head.
Yes, putting a cap on the head hurt because it hurt the head because of the head being so tender.
Oh,
so I have a tender head. It's
a
tender head, and so having the tender head with the hat on,
Reed is looking like. Is that what she said? What are we talking
how long
about
he's
here?
going to go with this. I was going to keep going.
I know.
I was just going to. Yeah, it was very sensitive. I had to put a lot of lotion on the head. And so it was something that I really had to do to try to help to make sure, but I couldn't wear the hat today because it hurt.
Oh my!
So instead I just walked back in the house. I fixed the hair real fast and I rolled out before I left. So that's the reason that now I have all this gear on there. But all of this started because of the fact that we were talking about Notre Dame having to be in the college football playoff. And now you have Tennessee fans.
Yeah, On3 had announced their 12 playoff.
Absolutely.
Team.
On3 announced their top 12 that they think is going to make the college football playoff. And so Tennessee fans are getting excited. And look, it's irrational to always say your team is going to make the college football playoff, right? Like it's always, yep, this is our year.
Well, I mean, if you're a Tennessee fan, I think it's a coin toss. You got a shot of making it. But to see the positive impact before the season starts, and actually it's a preseason, you get excited. It's like hoping that happens because anything can happen once you get in the playoffs. So, I mean, that doesn't say that there are or not, but they know that they have a really good team. And then, game or two here or there to get some bounces, win some games they shouldn't. Boom.
So there's a thought process about Nico. Like, okay, after what happened in the bowl game, Vols fans are like, let's go. Nico is going to be this. Nico's going to be all of that. Colin Cowherd earlier today was also talking about Tennessee
and Nico
and the Vols and getting ready for the football season and every bit of it. So actually, I said that wrong. Reed, help me out with this. What was actually being talked about on Cowherd?
This is Colin talking about they're in phase 1 of the Joe Milton experience.
Oh, this is about Milton.
This is the phase 1 of Joe Milton.
Totally. Just dump the cart on all of this.
This wasn't about Nico.
So I was sitting here thinking to myself about Nico and the Vols, I totally just is. We're about to rebound on this though. It's okay. We're going to get back. We're going to go back in the second half. We're going to adjust this. We're going to make this better. Nico and Tennessee are getting ready. Patriots fans are now going through what Vols fans went through 2 years ago. So, as we're sitting here and Vols fans are getting excited about Nico, this quarterback play, the Vols making the playoffs, that's also kind of what Vols fans were thinking the first time that they saw Joe Milton. Here's what Cowherd was talking about when it comes to the New England Patriots with Joe Milton, because they are now in a unique situation with the former Vol quarterback.
What does that tell you? That the 6th-round quarterback, Joe Milton, is going to probably win the job because he's the athlete. He's the bigger, stronger, faster, more dynamic athlete. And they don't have any at wide receiver, tight end, at running back. So when I read this story, my take is, yeah, Joe Milton will make plays. Listen, Kirk Cousins and RG3 back in 2012 got drafted by Washington, and they figured out by year 2, Cousins is the guy. I think that's what we're looking at now. I don't think I'm overreacting.
Uh-oh. Is he overreacting?
So
Pump the brakes there, guys.
That's where, and now you look at this. For those of you that haven't paid attention to the New England Patriots and their training camp, there's word coming out about Joe Milton in that as of right now, of all the quarterbacks that are in training camp for the New England Patriots, he has performed the best.
With a veteran guy in Brissett.
Yes.
Drake May. What, Zappy?
Yeah, which again, remember, again, going back to Hard Knocks, it just wrapped up. This was a big conversation, and this was about the New York Giants wanting to trade up because they wanted to draft Drake May, and instead New England kept the pick at 3 and made the draft pick. So Drake May, Jacoby, Joe Milton, you've got all these quarterbacks, and Patriots fans are getting excited because they're seeing how Joe Milton is performing in practice, and they're thinking, this is our guy.
And we talking about
this
practice.
Is it.
That's where we're going to loop this thing back around to Tennessee. And we're going to say, do you think Nico in his first full season as the starter is going to look more like Milton-esque or Hooker-esque? Give us your call. 737-1045, The Zone.
This is 1045.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
Yeah, because is he going to be more, Milton in his first year, which still wasn't bad.
No.
I'm talking about his second year, Milton as a starter, and Nico's first year, or is it going to lean towards more what Hooker looked like his first year as a starter?
615-737-1045. He is the hitman, Blaine Bishop. I am the human toothbrush, Joe Hunk. This is 1045 The Zone.
Hot hit. Hey, this is Blaine Bishop, and I'm excited to tell you about Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, or as you may know them as TOA. And TOA has 29 locations, over 100 orthopedic physicians throughout Middle and East Tennessee to take care of all your musculoskeletal needs. In addition to the orthopedic clinics and urgent care facilities, TOA offers physical therapy, hand therapy, and sports performance training for teams and individuals at their sports performance centers. And as a former professional athlete, I know how important access to expert orthopedic care is. So whether you're an athlete, active adult, or just looking to get back to living your best life, you can visit TOA online at TOA.com. That's TOA.com. Or you can just give them a call at 1-855-NEED-TOA. That's 1-855-NEED-TOA.
Wrap it up on 104.5 The Zone, 3HL. Coming up in 15 minutes, they have a guest today. Let me see. I forgot what his name is. Let me check.
I think his name is Jim.
Jim. Jim Nance coming up at 5 p.m. here on 104.5 The Zone.
Out of here, Jim, the legendary Jim Nance.
Yes, so you will be hearing from the GOAT coming up at 5. You can also hop in on that F&M Bank chat for the remainder of the show, going to YouTube, Facebook, X, as well as Twitch. As you can just go search for Zone TV, get us a subscribe so that you know that when we go live. And this thing has been busy today. Now it's talking in the F&M Bank chat, the conversations about what we asked just a few seconds ago, and that is about Nico and if he is going to be like Joe Milton or if he is going to be like Hendon Hooker in his season in 2021. So
his first season as a starter and Joe Milton's second year.
So this all started because we were talking about the Vols, how On3 has projected them to be one of the 12 teams to make the very first 12-team college football playoff. And obviously this depends on Nico. And you go back to last season and you remember Joe Milton in the previous year, how Joe Milton started the season and how Vols fans got so excited about Milton. That's kind of what Patriots fans are going through right now. And in fact, it is Austin says, look, Milton has been balling out at Pat's camp so far. And somebody said, God, it's got to be such a boring training camp if they're getting excited about Joe Milton. No, it's...
He threw an orange 110 yards. Don't forget that.
That's fantastic. I am excited for him. He's in the NFL. But at the same time... I still would probably prefer him coming out of the bullpen in the 9th inning than what I may actually have him as a quarterback.
Joe Milton ends up being a better pro than he was actually in college? Would you be surprised?
No.
Uh-oh.
No. No. Okay, Reed, I know. I see it. I see it in your face.
We got to hear from a UT fan.
Even through the abyss, I can see you wanting to answer. So what do you think?
He's going to be better. If he plays, he's going to be better. And it's gonna. I'm gonna hate everything about it, but I'm also gonna love it.
Yeah.
But if he gets
why couldn't you do this for us?
Exactly. If he gets the chance to play, he's gonna be better than I think. But he may go out and because he has faster wide receivers most likely, But his decision making, if they fix his decision making, he's going to be a really good quarterback.
There you go. Reed is on top of it. Yeah, it is. And if he can figure it out, it finally clicks for him.
Look,
I'm telling you, it can be dangerous.
We've talked about it. Look, this is basically everything we've said about Kenneth Murray, right? If it clicks for him,
and all of a sudden it's like, right coach. It's right scheme, right system. Next thing you know, guys flying around like never before. He's looking even more dangerous as an athlete than you've ever seen him. Right. He look like he's back in college.
And
we can't
even talk about the offense because we don't know what the offense is in this brand new scheme.
I don't even know who's the offensive coordinator.
Alex Van Pelt is the OC.
Oh, I know Alex.
Well, call Alex up. Ask him what their offensive scheme is.
Oh, man, I should text Alex. Only reason why I know Alex and we've kept in touch is I forgot they just hired him. This is his first year there.
Yeah, because Mayo just became the head coach.
Yeah. He came out the same year I came out. We played in the blue-gray game. He started at Pitt at quarterback.
Yep, at Pitt. He was drafted in what is Blaine, I think you know this round, is the 8th round.
Oh, yeah, I do know. What pick was he?
He was the 216th pick.
He went 2 picks after me. Which still exists today in the 7th round, by the way.
Yes.
Because 214 now, it goes up to 250 something.
Yes, and as I'm looking at this now.
Yeah, so that's how we played together and kept in touch. He was with the Bills for a long time, and then he's kind of bounced around.
Since you're having this right here, in between you and Alex Van Pelt,
who was the pick?
Pick in the 8th round of the pick number 215. Who was between you and Alex Van Pelt?
Give me at least a position.
Wide receiver.
Oh, my. Were they really good? Were they end up being a pretty good player?
I'm double-checking, but I do not believe that they ended up being a great player. No.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I don't even know
I have no idea who that was.
All right, I'm still
Trust me, I was at the library when I got picked, so I even missed probably.
missed the phone call. Coach, you went to voicemail.
I just know, like, dang, all those guys that went to the Blue-Gray game got drafted late. What the heck was going on?
All right, so the guy that played in between, or that was drafted in between you and Van Pelt, did not start a single game in the NFL. He ended up in only playing in 23 games, and he had one career touchdown.
Oh, my, this is what we're doing here.
Dude, now this is interesting.
Just tell me. I have no idea who this guy is. Give me a team?
I was already about to say it. So it was the Phoenix Cardinals, not the Arizona Cardinals, the Phoenix Cardinals.
Oh, I have no idea.
Out of Grambling State, it was Stevie Anderson. Played 3 years in the league.
No idea who that guy was.
Stevie Anderson was in between the two of you. But Van Pelt is the offensive coordinator. So we don't even know what the scheme is for this. Because between Gerard Mayo and Pelt, this could be totally different.
Where was Van Pelt last year?
I
can't remember. I want to say he was at the Bills. He was at the Steelers.
He was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wow. Lost me on that one.
And
this guy's bounce around, man. I just talked to another coach the other day. He's at Oklahoma State. I said he was at USC last year. I said, good Lord, man, I didn't even know you were there for. He said, yeah, because I was only there 1 year. They fired the whole defensive staff.
just a little FYI, let me know, because the reason I bring this up, and I want to double check before I say this, is because before he was with the Browns, he was the quarterback coach for Brian Callahan with the Cincinnati Bengals.
And I was hoping he came with them. I really was.
There was the connection.
Yeah.
Bring this sucker all the way back around.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Milton. So Austin says Joe Milton is a freak athlete. His problem is between the ears.
Mm-hmm. But if he finally figures it out, now you got something.
Well, and that's the problem with this. And that's what I'm saying. To your question, I would think that Joe Milton would have a better career if he finds the changeup. If he finds the changeup, then all bets are off on it. The problem was he was from me to you right now, which is maybe 5 yards, and he's throwing a football 106 miles per hour at his receiver.
And he would have broke my other finger.
Exactly. Because you got the one finger, which I'm shocked that didn't freak me out just then. You have the one finger that looks like it's got like a golf ball underneath it.
That was 3 pins to save it, by the way.
God.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah, that was
I've
my man.
never seen that.
Corey Dillon, man. Yeah, they put 3 pins in to save that. Ball fist cast whole season. Rest of the time. 8 games. Yeah, that was fun. It's either like or chop it off. I said, no.
Chop it off?
I'm like, I'm keeping my finger. What are you talking about? It's like, well, we're going to put
Ronnie
3
Lott
pins in here.
would shake his head right now.
Yeah, right now. He'd be just so disappointed in me. I know he would.
Come on, Blaine. You just got to chop it off.
Ever was.
Just got to chop it off. All right. With that being said, Jim Nance coming up at 5 o'clock on 3HL. So make sure that you continue. We'll continue this question tomorrow because it's a very interesting question. We're getting a lot of responses on Nico's season in 2024. But in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.